Changing our food relationships, eating what we want. How often have you told yourself, no, I can't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. I shouldn't do that. I can't do that. We tell ourselves we can't have something. We want it more. We get into the rebel mindset. We want that food. We can't stop thinking about that food. Today, I want to talk about 3 ways that you can bring in those fun foods, those off-limit foods in a strategic way so you can be successful eating these things, enjoying these things, and changing your food relationships. So let's jump in. Like with all of my videos, remember, this is for educational purposes only. If you need professional help, I always encourage you to go seek that, but enjoy the video for educational purposes. As you may know, I have been a therapist, an emotional eating coach, and a nutritional coach for 16 years. I have helped many, hundreds of clients change their relationships with food. And it starts with strategy. So often we think about changing our food relationships and we think about food freedom and intuitive eating and just eating whatever we want, whenever we want. But the problem is, the one thing missing is strategy. We haven't built trust with our body cues. We haven't uncovered what our relationship is with our food choices, with these off-limit foods, why we want them in the first place. And so then when we get into the mindset of, oh, I can eat whatever I want, I can eat freely, we overdo it, we overindulge because we don't have the internal foundation, the internal structural work done before we start going crazy and eating these off-limit foods. So today I want to talk about those 3 strategies that we can use to bring in an off-limit food, uncover our emotions, uncover our deep connection with that food, and start to build a different relationship with that one food so we can move on to more and more of those foods. Because really the end goal is to find joy in our food. Enjoy that food, feel in control with that food, and enjoy it where we're not burdened with the shame and the guilt that overtakes the joy, and we don't even get to experience the food in the first place because we're so wrapped up in the bigger emotions, the judgment with that food, the no, you can't have it with this food. We want to clear all that out so we can really enjoy the foods and the experience with that food. So the first thing I always tell my clients when we think about those off-limit foods is to make your list. We all have different experiences. We've all been told different stories with these foods, these off-limit fun foods. And I want you to take a moment and think about, what are the things you've been taught? Why are these off-limit foods? And why have you been told that you can't have them, that they're bad? Where have you learned it? What is your relationship with these foods? And what are the foods? So take that deep dive, make your list, have fun with this list, right? Because this is you being able to be free and understand your relationship with these foods. So make that list of these forbidden off-limit foods that you have carried around year after year, diet after diet, been told no, judged yourself for eating, and put them on a piece of paper. I want you to look at that paper. I want you to think about the stories you've been told about each of those foods and why maybe you carry this heaviness with those foods. What I want you to do next, the next step, step 2, is to look at the list and I want you to pick one food. Not all the foods, but one food. We don't want to get overwhelmed. We want to be strategic when we're bringing foods back into our life and when we're building a relationship with those foods on our terms. So pick that one food, circle that one food, and the next step, I want you to make a plan with that food, because really the goal is to bring that food into our world, have joy with that food, allow ourselves to have that food, tell ourselves we can have that food, so we get into that abundance mindset with the food, and we get out of the scarcity mindset with that food. We are going to want it less if we are in the abundance mindset and have changed the relationship with our food. So think about that one food. Make a plan with that food. Put it on the calendar. Be strategic. Don't be reactive. So often we're reactive with these foods and we binge on these foods, but I want you to do it strategically. I want you to do it with logical thinking, and I want you to put it on the calendar. When can you enjoy this food? The next thing I want you to do is make a plan, right? Because we're no longer reactive with this food. We're in control and we are in charge. So making a plan with this food and saying to yourself, okay, where am I going to get this food? Is it going to be from a restaurant? Am I going to make it? Do I need to go to the grocery store? What are the ingredients that I'm going to need? Thinking it through, creating a plan, having it on the calendar on a set day when you're going to enjoy this food is going to help you build a relationship with this food, so you get it off that list and it starts to become an okay food for you to enjoy in moderation and in control. The next thing I always tell my clients to do is make a plan on how you are going to enjoy the food. So often with food, there comes many layers. There is the taste, but there's also the experience of the food. There's also the memory that comes with the food. And we want to establish a spot in our world where we can have all those things when we're enjoying the food. Okay, so when the kids are running around screaming, when you're racing to a meeting, that's probably not the time to change our relationship with this fun food and start building trust. We want to do it strategically. So think about a time and a day outside of a reward for hard work, just a random day, a random time where you can place this food somewhere and really enjoy it. Think about the plate, think about the environment, think about the atmosphere, and think about you being present with this food. When we practice doing this, we uncover different knowledge about our relationship with these foods. We start to notice that we can have control. We can handle these things when we're present and we're not reactive. And this changes our confidence. This rebuilds our emotions related to this food, and this allows us to move it out of the no food column and into the joyful food column, so you can continue to enjoy this food, feel free, and feel confident for life. So if you found this helpful, grab my free training in the link below, the Food Freedom Blueprint, and get in there and start to uncover even more about your food relationships so you can have absolute food freedom for life and kick diet culture to the side forever.